If Britain can't extend a helping hand to an old friend, then she's not worth her place in the first division of the world's nations.
We're not in the first division anymore, Minister.
There, what was I saying? You know, it's doomed drips like you, Kyle, who are to blame for so much of the world's misery. I'll bet you see the rainbow in various shades of black.
I don't write about the weather, sir.
More your line, I'd have thought. All those natural disasters. Though you'd be pushed for something to say when the sun shone and the harvest was bountiful.
Bountiful is the word for the trade deal that you've just signed. Seems to me we could have got the copper much cheaper elsewhere.
Some of us are trying to make up for what our forefathers did to our friends. My hosts here tonight. And yours.
Yes, well, we are the poor relations now, aren't we?
You see? Self-deception. He believes his own lies.
It seems to me rather like asking Oliver Twist to pour Anglo dollars into Rockefeller's begging bowl.
Oh, crawl back among your characters from the past, Kyle. It's where you belong. There are some amongst us who will never understand that there's more to trade and aid than greed and profit. That friendship and generosity...
You are the joker here tonight, Mr. Kyle. My name is George Paul. Pleased to meet you.
Hello.
In some countries, you would be in jail.
But more cheaply is the language of the
well,
marketplace.
give us time.
The old Britain.
The British always need time.
All I need is a few minutes
As
outside.
you all know, I am dedicated personally to a deep and lasting friendship between our two countries.
He's a humbug. And a corrupt one. Even if you're bugged, I'm gonna go on. I've had my belly full.
I'm clean. I hope you are.
Virginal white.
One of them's using a scrambler, or both.
That is a PCD spy van.
I'll try a big close-up. See if the office can lip read them.
They have highly qualified and pensionable lip readers back in their fortress. Did you know that?
Well, I'm an amateur ventriloquist. Shall we try them?
No.
Jim, back 4 meters, please.
Ibn Bingham's own Aladdin's cave in the bank vault in Zurich.
He's our Minister for Trade.
You're a man of integrity. We've got him up in an ocean-going yacht named Manuela, berth Monte Carlo. Twin screws, fully comprehensive radar, and a cabin with 12 portholes and 6 Picassos.
Originals?
God.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm sorry. Well, of course, he could evade wealth tax on that lot if he stays outside the limit.
That's what he said.
Close-up of damn all. We'd better wipe this. If he sees it, he'll have us back at that retraining camp before you can say Scarden.
And I tell you this, my American friends, your moral and financial help is vital to those brave men and women who resist the evil system that is snuffing out freedom in the United Kingdom. They work ceaselessly and they work without thought of reward. Don't swallow a word of propaganda about those who risk their own liberty in order to let people like me out of the country, whose only crime is to be well trained. And don't for one moment believe that those brave men and women do it for personal gain. Most don't. When I got out of the country, I offered cash to the man who fixed it. One of those Scarlet Pimpernels of 1990.
Scarlet Pimpernels.
Who have the notorious PCD running around like panicky Doberman pinchers. And let me tell you what he said. You keep your wallet zipped tight, mate, until you've made a packet in the States. Now, does that sound like a mercenary?
Sounds like a traitor who shouldn't be on the
Your
loose.
support for the...
You met this smart Alec rabble-rouser before he skipped, didn't you?
In the Ombudsman's court when they turned down his appeal for an exit visa.
Something has to be done. He stomps around that vast country with his squalid lies about us being a land of jailers, demanding that we let out his wife and child.
Herbert, the European Convention does state Clause 29B.
I can quote it to you backwards. Can you do the same with Clause 45J?
If an illegal immigrant has made money corruptly...
We have the right to refuse exit visas to his dependents until the money is returned to the state.
Subject to 1 year's limit.
He's only been out a couple of months. It's the noise he's been kicking up makes it seem longer.
I wasn't aware Dr. Vickers had been on the fiddle.
I can produce 2 of his patients who will say he took cash for treatment.
Do we want to avoid an international do-gooders picnic or not? I mean, if he keeps this up, we'll have every anti-British pressure group on earth yelling for our blood. Last time there were mobs in the States, Canada and Sweden waving placards showing our Home Secretary as Count Dracula.
And they weren't far wrong, were they?
Thank you, lucky stars. That remark isn't on the record, Henry.
We could have the doctor snatched.
And have the CIA muscling in over here,
Well, what do you think they're doing now?
being polite.
We should be making the most of him. He may be winning hearts, but he's also talking too much. Enough, I'd say, to drive any Scarlet Pimpernel to his worry beads.
What's he said?
Oh, feed it to the computer.
He said the bloke who got him out has got blue eyes, dark hair, mid-30s, operates from Leeds. Well, he's probably got brown eyes, red hair, and never set foot north of Baldock. Do you mean that what he's been saying gives you a lead?
It might, Herbert, if I were on the spot.
Gravy train trips to Washington are out.
He practices in Arizona. He only goes to Washington to shout.
Has he shouted a name at you?
No.
Hinted then?
No.
I got a few vibes from all that.
Any more takes of Vickers? I'd like to see them.
She's after your chair, Herbert.
She's not the only one. If that defector's paid by the minute, he'll be a dollar millionaire by the end of the year.
Some tub, eh? I'd not mind skipping these prison shores in that one day. A jump ahead of the PCD, sipping rum, looking at the Picassos. We got proof of ownership.
I'm digging, Tiny, I'm digging.
Why did God give you an unbreakable neck? You know that Bingham, as well as being Minister of Trade, is a bosom friend of Dan Miller's.
Yeah, the odd couple. One from the Yorkshire pits, the other one from the stockbroker belt.
The bureaucrat's belt, as one of our leader writers so aptly renamed it.
Yeah. Look what happened to one of your leader writers. Undergoing convulsion therapy at Mayfield Rehabilitation Centre.
He had family problems.
Well, he has now. Tiny, look at this. 500,000 deposited Swiss bank account number TY76248.
I'm not numerate, and it doesn't say it's Bingham's account.
I know it says Bingham's account.
Yes, Marley. Your PCD lady.
Yeah.
She seeks him here, she seeks him there. This lady seeks him everywhere.
Well, why doesn't she seek him in her surveillance room?
Oh, that would be nasty. Especially as I'm here to ask you to dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah? Was it debugged with real meat?
And authentic French asparagus. Special coupon nosh.
What a lucky lady bureaucrat you are.
I'll get my penny on then.
Be careful of her. And this new contact of yours. You're sure he's not just a man-eating plant with PCD tendrils?
Too short of anything these days, eh?
The rest of the editor's going to need splints up his backbone to run this story. And the union shop will be up in arms.
Yeah.
And don't gluttonize.
Don't whattenize.
It's a new verb. It means to scoff with bureaucrats on special rations. Some Oxford Don coined it the other day.
Oh, Lord, did he really? Well, he coins another one like that, he'll finish up in Dartmoor, soya bean cubes.
He's not only harassing me, but my wife, my parliamentary secretary, the permanent secretary to the department, and he's seeing every enemy I've got. And Kyle's innuendos are evil. Evil.
This muckraker's got to be stopped, Herbert. Settle his hash, eh?
You're right, Home Secretary. My finger's already on the button. Leave it to me, Minister. And tell your wife and friends not to worry.
I'm most grateful to you, Scarton. Most grateful. And thank you too, Dan.
Not at all, Nigel. Not. He's been taking backhanders.
I'll get the anti-corruption inspectors onto him.
No, you won't. Let's get our priorities right. Nail Kyle first. Oh, lovely.
Shouldn't be difficult. We can get him for breaches of the Official Secrets Act, contempt of government, anti-state articles, subversion of His Majesty's servants.
Yeah, oh, that's playing into his hands. Can't you do better than that?
Official or unofficial?
You're the expert, Herbert.
I don't know whether you're out to seduce me or smash me. Oh, it's a bit cordon bleu for the Last Supper, isn't it?
Maybe the wine's poisoned.
Very likely. Certainly duty-free. None of one of your perks of office, hmm?
I'd have settled for less.
If you'll forgive me for saying so, darling, you're worth less. Anyway, every penny I make goes to the state, so who cares?
I do. They're really after you now, Kyle.
Mm-hmm. They do keep trying.
The mood's hardening.
So is my skin.
Remember Dr. Vickers?
Vickers?
We were both in the Ombudsman's court when his appeal came up for exit visas.
Oh, yes, I remember. Yes, his was turned down along with all the rest.
And emigrated all the same.
Naughty fellow.
Well, now he's shooting his mouth off across the state, saying what a repressive lot we are.
Yes, I read something about it in the New York Times. I don't think it's so bad, really. I mean, after all, he's just trying to put pressure on you so that you'll release his wife and child.
He's wasting his breath.
Don't bank on it.
He's also saying more than's wise about the man who got him out.
Oh, it's a chap the American papers keep calling the Pimpernel 1990.
They make him sound romantic.
I'd like to interview him.
So would we. I saw a summary today from our Washington office of what Vickers said about this man who got him out. Bits from several interviews and speeches. Pieced together, we get an image of a 35-year-old, dark hair, blue eyes, slim build, Leeds-based. Now, all that could be the exact opposite.
Oh, yes, exactly. Yes. He could be stocky build, grey hair, blue eyes, London-based, couldn't he?
He's also very mercenary, we hear. Suppose I were to ask you to get a friend out for a whacking great fee.
Me? Well, then I'd probably say, keep your wallet zip-mate until you've made a packet over there.
Over there or in the States?
Huh?
Only that's just what Vickers said this get-em-out expert told him. Except he said in the States, not over there.
Don't be a fool, Deli. That is a well-worn cliché, and anybody could say it.
I don't agree.
You never do you?
Sorry to haul you up from Southampton, Jack. I hear you're into a juicy illegals.
Yes, one of the cruise ships, sir.
How many have they bunged in the rats' quarters this time?
Reason to believe, sir, 12, with more to board. I'd like to be there when we ferret him out.
I have something more urgent, more important. Total warrant. Name Kyle mean anything?
The heck?
Full strip-off. Down to the fig leaf.
Well, I'd have thought that a job for the culture inspectors. What's Tony Judd going to say?
I'm contrary here, Jack. You leave Judd to me. He didn't hold back when those illegals were getting out with the State Theatre Company. Now you can have one on a plate. Officially, you're looking for evidence that Kyle's into the emigration rackets.
And he's not, of course.
No. He's been nosing into the private enterprises of our Minister for Trade. The Right Honourable Nigel Bingham, Privy Councillor, etc., etc.
But that's not what my search warrant's about.
Got it. I don't want Kyle yelling blue murder to the hacks of the world's press about jackboots marching down Fleet Street any more than I want even a hint that Kyle's been digging dirt about our spotless Minister for Trade.
But we are after Bingham.
After being the word. After Kyle. I want Kyle. I need him badly, Jack. Legs wide open. And I don't want him in the Martyrs' Hall of Fame. I want him to show us respect. I want evidence that Kyle's just a grasping mercenary. I want him nailed once and for all.
Right away?
Yes.
And I was planning to see the North Region Moscow Dynamo match in Manchester.
Violent sport, soccer, Jack. They break shins, don't they?
Yes. Who are you?
PCD, ma'am.
No.
Miss, then.
Citizen 639-2244.
It's a nice number you've got.
And those files are confidential.
Leave her alone, Mary.
Damn rabble pushing the staff about. Oh, I heard the PCD muggers were on the premises.
I know you're news editor of this rag, Greaves, but I could still have you charged for that insulting remark about His Majesty's officers.
Well, charge me then.
If that's Kyle you're calling, I hope you find him. He's the original Vanishing Man.
Daily Lomas. Your secretary.
Thank you. Hello, Molly.
Kyle, the PCD are here. Your papers, it's vandalism.
All right, keep calm, Molly. There's nothing there that would interest them.
They're ruining your files.
I said keep calm. Put on the pack leader.
Yes, Kyle, Inspector Nichols here.
Your immigration.
I have a total warrant, Kyle.
You usually do. Well, you keep me hanging about here while your animals wreck my office.
I don't understand.
Yes. Yes, Miss Lomas, I authorized it.
Without reference, Kyle's my responsibility.
And normally with my kind regards, but not on this occasion. Nichols has a job to do.
Nichols, we have something on Kyle over illegals.
Not yet. I have Nichols in mind for the 3rd Deputy Controller post alongside you and Tasker. I'm trying him out on something other than immigration control.
That's the real reason?
I think you'd better come in.
Where was our brave editor? Carring in the loo?
He was having dinner with the Minister of Information.
Well, I'm going to write this up and he better print it.
He won't. He can't.
What do you mean he can't?
There's no way, Kyle. Nichols has served us with a G notice, forbidding publication under the rule that protects persons under suspicion.
That's me.
They're protecting you from yourself. You can't write a line about this in your own interest. Our pens aren't mightier than their swords. They're bloody water pistols.
So, what did they take that was worth any more than loo paper?
Your papers on the government's plans for a safe power base in case of insurrection.
Yes, well, there's nothing there for them. Didn't mention any contacts in those notes.
I don't think they were looking for anything. They just came as frighteners.
They were doing, Marley, what they call in their evil trade a strip-off.
Mr. Kyle's office. Your wife.
Yes, Maggie?
I think you'd better come home, Jim.
What's the matter now, Maggie? It's not the PCD, is it?
Them. The pigs, clowns and devils. I've only once asked you to come home before, Jim. We need you here now. Preferably with a carpenter. And maybe a builder, for all I know.
Not there as well. Oh, poor Maggie. Well, it's time you went home anyway. You haven't been there for nearly 2 weeks.
Marley, why don't you make a phone call for me? Call Dave Brett, tell him to meet me at the usual place, all right?
My husband would hardly keep files under the floorboards.
Surprised where people hide things, Mrs. Kyle. We're after more than files. Ruberans, sovereigns. Any loot they may have given him for getting illegal immigrants out.
And pigs may fly, except your kind.
If we do find Krugerrands...
You'll have brought them. Do you get a deodorant allowance?
We're only doing our job, Mrs. Kyle. Some people offer us tea and toast.
Do you also burn books?
Not yet, ma'am. And take a look at that cabinet. Look at the back off.
You will be replacing these floorboards.
Not necessarily, ma'am. Depends how helpful you are.
Leave my mother alone. And get out. No, Ben, not that. Get out!
Now, don't be foolish, son.
I'm not your son. Get out!
Now, hand it over before you get in real trouble, boy.
Get out! Let me have it, Bevan. Get out!
Well, well. That's a big gun for a little boy. His father's?
Yes.
And no license.
Wrong.
Let's see it.
I've no idea where it is.
We don't dish out gun licenses to people like your husband.
Check with your department. He helps them sometimes, God knows why. And they reciprocate.
I see. And what's he want a gun for? Shooting sub-editors?
Vermin.
You got any?
Not yet.
Check with Senator, see if he has a license.
Try one of your deputy controllers, Miss Lomas.
Now, wait, I'll do it myself. Now, come on, it's not lunch break yet. I could take you away and lock you up a long time for what you've just done. You'd not see your mother and father.
Don't try to frighten him.
He could be a menace to society.
I said, don't bully him. You'll not always have it your own way.
All right, son. Go and play with your toys.
Go and look after Jamie, Ben.
I really should spend more time with Margaret and the children.
Yeah, that's what I think. Don't let the PCD get you down. I'll talk you out of anything, whatever they find.
There's nothing there for them to find. I just hope that Nichols and his PCD navvies are there when we arrive.
Do you want me to go faster?
No. Margaret will know how to delay them.
I could help a little. If you'll put the floorboards back. I'd like my husband here more. His job keeps him away, and I don't like that.
Oh, I have a family, Mrs. Kyle. I enjoy them. You have my sympathy.
This is in confidence, of course.
Your husband.
There's a well down the garden. You must know about it.
Yeah.
About halfway down, there's somewhere he keeps things. I know he has to move 2 stones or bricks, whatever.
It's only down there, Gov.
Join you in a tick.
There's not a single loose brick down that well.
It can't be easy to find.
There isn't one.
Maggie!
Oh, Jim.
What do you do on your holidays, Nichols? Crush kids' sandcastles? Smashing their knuckles?
We were right to be here, Kyle.
Listen, you get these bloody boards put back!
We restore at our discretion. And your wife has lied to waste our time, and your son has threatened me with a gun. Now, you know what that could mean for him.
Where is Bevan, Maggie?
He's with Jamie. They're all right.
I'm authorized by the controller himself.
Are you? Want to go searching, making your overtime, looking for nothing?
And dirty job bonus.
Well, you certainly merit that.
Every time.
Who's the friend?
Or yours.
A-class citizen. Import-export agent. Genuine. We bring in the dollars, marks, and yen that keep you cozy in your feather beds. Without us, Emperor Dan would be shivering in his Home Secretary's office, minus heat and pension.
Thank you, Mr. Brett.
So what did you unearth? A couple of escaped hamsters and a bit of woodworm?
They are the woodworm.
One of my men found this.
It's an offense to hold gold Krugerrands, Kyle. And we have reason to believe they were in payment for services to illegal immigrants.
You know.
Rubbish! I gave him those. He gave me contacts at 2 foreign embassies. I flogged 25 million quid's worth of machine parts. Strong stuff exports. Touch me and your bosses will be down so hard on you, you won't hear your skull crack.
Get yourselves cleaned up, wait outside.
Now give them back.
All right, Bevan, lad, it's all right. It's all right, Bevan, it's all right.
And they smashed this, Jim.
What have you got on your ID card, Nichols? Public vandal number 1.
There was an accident, Kyle. You can claim on Form J237.
Your family will be claiming if you don't get out of here.
Put the loot back where you found it. Now, if I stop getting export orders because you go knocking off my backhanders, you'll soon be an ex-inspector with a ticket for suitable treatment in Cumberland.
I'm just going out to radio the
I'm
office.
sorry, but you're just going to put that down first.
Bevan!
No, Bevan, leave him alone.
Bevan. It's all right. Got plenty of time, lad. You've got plenty of time. Nichols. If ever this country does climb out of the dark age and the lynch mob comes looking for you, I promise you I won't notice a thing. Not a thing. Cup of coffee, Maggie. Come on, Ben.
And the first I hear of it is when he's already being stripped off.
Perhaps it was thought you were getting too close to him.
I was getting somewhere. Now we grovel. We have to give him Krugerrands that were never his and send a repair party to put back his floorboards.
Time he was put away for good.
You didn't do our paper on the control of dissidents in the public eye. I did. I want Kyle subdued. But in our time.
Before we all die of old age, you mean?
In our good time.
Or in his. He's been digging for dirt on our Minister for Trade.
That wouldn't be difficult for a junior reporter.
Real dirt. And our masters don't like it.
Masters? You mean the political puppets? And Nichols? We send Nichols and a bunch of heavies who are sick with fear at the sight of a 12-year-old.
They did have a gun, Delhi.
And SOS for special transport because their tires are down. Tires down? pants down a bunch of wets. Just leave Kyle to me, okay?
No, no. Kyle's a prime target, and Tasker knows how to detach him from the scene, I think.
I've had several meetings with the computer. Kyle hasn't declared dollars earned in the States, and his house is grossly undertaxed.
So you say.
And so would say his house taxation officer presently. And the Newsmen's Union are ready to accuse him of unpatriotic journalism.
Oh, he'll ride that.
But not this. His son menaced Nichols and his officers with a loaded shotgun. 12-bore catch-off license courtesy of you. Our inspector of juveniles may wish to remove Master Kyle to a sanatorium for his own mental well-being.
No, not that.
We're not here to be sentimental.
Henry's right, little menace.
Look, I can fix Kyle, but not through his son. That wouldn't be good for our image, would it?
How?
If Henry has a lot to do.
If you not mind, Henry. Right. Secrets time.
I want to go to America.
I said, the gravy train's not running.
Cost less than all those Krugerrands.
Hello, Kyle.
Yes?
You loom large in my department's headlamps. They want you, and they're putting their foot down, or the boot in. How well do you know Mr. Lomas?
We've met.
Often, I hear.
Yes, yes, quite often.
Would it surprise you to know that she's about to walk all over you? There's this Vickers chap, some GP with a grudge stomping the US with a plea for his wife and child to be let out to join him. Do you remember him?
Just about, yes.
Miss Lomas would say you're understating.
But she usually says that I'm exaggerating.
I trust you're not too fond of her. This Vickers, in his naive praise of those who spirited him out, is been leaving a trail of clues like confetti. Our department now dissects his speeches as if they were by James Joyce or T.S. Eliot. And Miss Lomas has a forensic brain second to none.
Yes. She works very hard.
Especially now. She's off to Washington tomorrow with an offer to Vickers. He'll get visas for his wife and child if he'll come back and testify you got him out. If it's any comfort, she's doing this because Deputy Controller Tasker was all set to devour you anyway. It's professional survival.
Yes. She'd survive a direct hit from a hydrogen bomb.
I can't advise, but if I were you, I'd skip this country with some urgency. I wish you well.
Thank you.
What's up?
What isn't? Do you by any chance have any business in the States?
Unless?
Can you catch the 3 o'clock Concorde?
That's old Airbus.
Well, you know of another flight that gets there sooner?
Well, the American SST's not leaving Heathrow till 4.
Quite. So it's the Concorde, isn't it? You'll be sitting next to Delhi Lomas. That lovely lady with 2 faces. Remember Vickers?
Yeah.
They do you proud over here, Dr. Vickers. 5-star hotels all the way.
They like my lectures. I'm an authority on the National Health Service over here. They're just starting theirs, so it's 5-star hotels and dollars galore.
But not just for knocking our state health service.
I don't knock it. I just tell them how good it was before the bureaucrats cocked it up.
Not to mention your digs about Britain being a jail.
I want my wife and child out. All the dollars I earn on my lecture tours goes into the Freedom for Britain Fighting Fund.
Ambassador for Britain.
I will give you jailers no peace until my family are out. And not even then.
You know, the last time I sipped bubbly of this class was with a newsman named Kyle.
Oh, yes, that journalist that I met after I met you. Yes, I remember.
Before getting you out.
Guessing will get you nowhere, Miss Lomas.
I've read everything you've written over here, and I can give you at least 5 quotes that were Kyle to a T.
Well, he's a good journalist, Carl.
Come back with me and testify against Kyle.
Drink up and leave.
You could hold your wife and child forever.
And I am out to see the world won't let you do that.
With words? Testify against Kyle, and your wife and child will be free to leave immediately.
On whose word? Yours?
I am Deputy Controller.
The bigger they come, the bigger the lies. You know, I could be recording all this.
Oh, Dr. Vickers.
Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot about those.
We'd give your wife and child exit visas the same day you testify.
And who's to know we had a deal? You'd have all 3 of us then, wouldn't you, instead of just my wife and child?
The Home Secretary will announce you're free to leave immediately. So will our delegate to the Human Rights Commission in Geneva.
That obese robot. Look, I'll tell you what I'll do. You let my wife and child out, and I will come over.
Think it over, Dr. Vickers. I'll call you this evening.
I might need longer than that.
Don't see me out.
Not bad, is she?
She's PCD. She's all bad.
Oh, come now. Nobody can be all bad that knocks back bubbly like that.
Gives me indigestion. Well, they'd have all 3 of us, wouldn't they?
Mm. Tell her you agreed to go back. But you won't open your mouth in that witness box until your wife and child are safely over here.
I'll have to think about that.
Offences against the state are growing each day. But none are growing on a greater scale than illegal emigration. This unpatriotic exodus of men and women whose skills our country needs. This evil transport can only be stopped by example. I call Mr. Herbert Scarden.
Call Mr. Scarden.
Your name is Herbert Scarden?
Yes.
And you are Controller of the Department of Public Control?
Yes.
Now, without disclosing official secrets, can you tell us the present scale of illegal emigration?
Since emigration restrictions were introduced in 1986, requiring graduates and other highly qualified persons to work here for a period of 10 years, the number of illegal immigrants has increased from 937 in 1988 to just over 11,000 so far this year.
And this evil traffic in people is organized by both mercenaries and idealists.
Idealists? You mean dissidents?
Yes, dissidents, then.
Mainly dissidents. That is why the penalties that this court can enforce are lighter for those convicted of carrying on the trade for mere gain.
And the accused today?
Kyle is a persistent offender against the state prosecutor. He is under the illusion that freedom means license, both as a journalist and as a dissident. My department has been extremely patient.
Thank you, Mr. Scarden.
Mr. Scarden, do you regard every critic of your department as an enemy of the state, suitable for treatment?
Very tolerant.
You are Deli Lomas?
Yes.
And you are a deputy controller of the PCD?
Yes.
Now, it has been among your duties to observe the anti-state activities of this man.
He has helped us from time to time.
And often hindered?
Yes.
I mean, it is a fact that for certain periods, days on end, his movements can't be accounted for.
I'm not at liberty to discuss, even in this court, our checks on citizens' movements.
Yes, but all the same, he does disappear.
Yes.
And these disappearances often coincide with the illegal exit of forbidden immigrants.
Yes.
Yes, and your deposition listing dates, times, and names of groups of defectors is with this court?
Classified information, yes.
Yes, that's document J, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Now, you made a thorough computer check on this man.
Yes.
And one element fed into the computer was the speeches and writings in the United States of one Dr. Vickers.
Yes.
Now, his description of the man who got him out of this country tallied with what you know of this man.
They were almost the opposite in every way. It was some of the quotes which tallied.
Exactly?
Almost word for word.
I have a copy of those quotes, Witness. But the quotes from Kyle, the ones you say match up, are you relying on memory? Or did you tape them at the time? You posed as a friend of his. A very close friend?
No.
Over a considerable time.
You said posed. I was a friend. Am.
By the standards of the PCD.
That lawyer's gone too far. She's one for the list.
If my colleague has finished, my witnesses are available for recall. Thank you, Miss Lomas. I call Dr. Alan Vickers.
Call Dr. Vickers.
Your name is Alan Vickers? And you...
Speak up, witness.
Yes.
You were an illegal immigrant?
Yes.
And you have come back to your country because your conscience impels you to tell the truth. You feel for your country.
I feel for my wife and child.
Yes, yes, we sympathize. We knew you were separated.
Yes, we still are. The PCD issued them with exit visas and they flew out last night. I spoke to my wife at a friend's house in New York just 2 hours ago.
Yes,
I agreed to come over and give evidence, providing they were let out.
But the important thing is that you left this country without a visa.
Right.
And you were helped out illegally.
Well, obviously, I'm no evasion expert.
Thank you. Now, do you recognize anybody in this court?
I know her and him.
In what way?
I met Miss Lomas at the PCD when I applied for exit visas, and then I met Kyle at the Ombudsman's Court when my appeal was turned down.
Mm-hmm. And then?
Then what?
But Kyle helped you.
Yes, he wrote a few lines. That's all. Nothing more.
Are you sure? Now be careful.
Yes, I'm quite sure. My eyes are perfect and my memory's sharp.
Yes, Mr. Prosecutor?
We are trying to be benevolent, witness. I'm informed that the state would not wish to keep you in this country. until the case is retried, which could be a matter of some weeks. Especially as your family is now in America.
You, the PCD, can't hold me. I am now a citizen of the United States of America. I came here of my own free will, and I will leave in the same way. Let the PCD try locking me up and extracting phony confessions.
Guard, clear the court. Public and press must leave this court now. I will not have these courts held in contempt. We'll try the case in camera.
Good afternoon.
One up to you, Kyle. But don't stay for the next round. Scarden wants to skin you. He's furious over that court humiliation. It shouldn't happen to the PCD. And he's incensed, if you'll excuse the expression, that you've resumed your dig into the ruins of our incorruptible Minister of Trade. Scarden doesn't blink anymore and looks as if he's smiling when he isn't. My advice is to get out, Kyle, while the going's good.
I'm not running.
You'll not be walking either if some of our backroom experts get at you. Now take my advice and go.
Deli Lomas is in the church.
What?
I don't understand it. I was sure I wasn't followed.
If this has to be the day of judgment, Kyle, I'm in the right place.
I didn't know you'd gone religious.
Well, I was just trying it out.
You should take the right taxi when you commune with God.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Well, thank you for the tip. I was beginning to wonder if your surveillance boys had friends in high places. So what are you doing here? Suffering from guilt?
Tasker was out to crucify you with a much more serious charge. Undermining the security of the state. Indefinite psychiatric treatment in one of the ARCs. I couldn't bear to see you in one of those places.
Well, that's the difference between us, Deli, isn't it? I couldn't bear to think of anybody in one of those places.